Hey guys, and welcome to Pheas Airsoft, where today I'm doing an unboxing of this Delta ARMORY's Freya Gen 2. Hey guys, and welcome back. If you do enjoy this content today, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me get seen by the YouTube algorithms, helps the channel grow. All my socials are down there in the description on the Linktree link, and if you want to support the channel a little bit more, the join button down below for channel memberships, 99 a month, equivalent in your country, custom videos, giveaways, more of a saying in the channel, all that kind of stuff. So that's all the boring stuff. Let's go. I am so excited. So after my first unboxing and use of a Delta ARMORY's AEG in general, I went to the Delta Day at the sort of invitation of Patrol Base, did a little bit of filming and posted that up. I will link that down below. I had a great day having a visit. I had a chat to the head technician guy from Delta ARMORY's as well, which was a really nice conversation. I'll sort of talk a little bit more about that as we go on. And whilst I was there, I picked up the new Gen 2 Freya, and I am really excited to get into this. So, starting with the box, pretty nice little box then. So we've got obviously a bit of branding on the edge there that it's Delta ARMORY's. We've got that it is a Grand Power licensed airsoft replica. I assume they are the guys that own the design for sort of like the Freya and things like that. We've got a sticker on the end that this is the 7-inch CNC M-Lock Alpha in olive. It is a damn gorgeous piece of kit and a little bit branding underneath, and we'll get on with this. Everybody likes a nice box, so get that open. We've got some nice protective foam inside. Are we ready for this? I am excited. Oh, there she is. So got a manual before I get too excited. I have forgot to put the mag back in, and I'll explain why in a second, and what the mag is. So I've got a manual that isn't necessarily the exact right manual, but you know, things are generally the right things. It is an AR variant of sorts, so the stock adjustment is largely right. The battery's a little bit different, but in a better way, a good way, and the hop is correct. So I've got a manual in there. We've got an Allen key that we'll come to talk to in a minute. Our essential silica gel. We've got this absolute beauty here, which I will lift out now. And then is there no barrel cleaning tool? Absolutely fine. The mag is not in there. Now the reason the mag isn't in there is because, full disclosure, I've already been and skirmished this. I am doing this after skirmishing it. So as I talk about it, you can trust that what I am saying is, you know, absolutely observed and sort of honest, the truth. Not that you would ever doubt that what I'm saying is the truth. So absolutely gorgeous piece of kit. I love the shade of green. This is also available in tan, and I think they do it in black as well. So we went for the 7-inch M-Lock version, which is absolutely gorgeous. It is full metal. Now the weight is not like an offensive metal weight. It is nice that you know you've got a nice bit of bulk, nice bit of weight, but it's not too heavy. That is a weight that you can run all day without real issue at all, and it is a gorgeous looking piece of kit. We'll come back to the Allen key in a second. Now, yes, I have run this. Out of the box, they come with, at the moment, the Gen 2 Freyas come with the original hot rubber that is intended for like the Slovakian market, which is higher FPS and is also slightly heavier weight BBs. This now has had the Trinity hop rubber fitted in it, which is significantly better for UK FPS's weights and things like that, and I'll talk about that after we've done the I've cut to show you the performance stuff, the how it performs and things like that. So let's get started, because I'm getting a little bit carried away with myself because I'm so excited. So up at the front there, we've got a traditional AR style muzzle brake then, that is a 40mm negative. There's no grub screw or anything, so we're just going to screw it like we're unscrewing things. It's a negative thread, and it gives us a 40mm negative thread under there for whatever accessories we may desire and need. Tighten that back down. We've then got our 7-inch handguard on this particular model, where we've got 2 M-Lock rails slots there, 2 on the side and 2 on that side, and we've got the flattened off rail section here, meaning we can get our hands on there without getting ragged on the rails in general, as well as a flip up sight at the front and a flip up sight at the back. Now they are more than adequate flip up sights, and I do like the fact that they are in black. I like the kind of two-tone effect going off with the black and green contrasting against each other quite nicely. I'll stick a picture of what it looks like sort of mid-game. Now, there we go, that is me in gameplay with it. So Those just flick down if you don't want them, and the rear sight has got the smaller aperture and a larger aperture. Is it this one? It's not this one. I was going to say I thought there was a sort of like a backup pistol sight on them, but there's not. I am just making things up. So I've got a nice front end, very angular cut. Obviously lots of space in there just to help lighten it up a little bit. No sharp edges, really nice quality premium feel to it, and this is held on by these 2 bolts at the front and secured from rotating by a lug on each side, which is really nice. There is a little bit of rail under here, so this will come off easily. Undo this bolt, the nut comes out of there, and this just slides off. The same with the back one. We've got a bit of rail space across the top there to add an accessory of our choice. Coming back then, we've got a little bit more trendier style charging handle, which when we pull it now does operate and lock open the shell ejection window, the dust cover, not dust cover, the shell ejection window. It locks open, and when we press the bolt release, it pings it back forward, but does leave, when it's locked open, the hop exposed, which is a roll down to apply hop. So one of these sort of large rotary wheels just gives you a little bit more secure. It's a nice firm, but not too firm and not too loose sort of rotation. With the Trinity rubber in it, I found very little need to apply much hop at all, and it's hopping 2.5s unbelievably well. So I'll pop that again. So the rest of it has obviously got this nice angular sort of styling to it, just ever slightly lightly dug into the bodywork and things. And we've got, obviously, instead of a dust cover covering over the ejection port, we've got sort of like an ejection catch. I assume on the real thing this would deflect the empty shells to make sure it's not hitting you in the eye. Normal traditional style mag release, ever so slight, obviously flaring around the mag well a little bit. Come to the selector, traditional AR style fire selector then, only one side, nothing special, but effective, quite firmly clicks into place, feels quite nice. The pistol grip is particularly lovely, well rounded, no sharp edges, like just lovely little design touches like that, and much nicer. In terms of motor adjustment, we've got the big screw in the bottom, which I like, means you've got good sturdy sort of adjustment screw there to adjust your motor up and down. And they have changed the style of the pistol grips. It used to be the pinch ones. You used to pinch them to release the base plate. This one is just a pull lever where we pull on the little screw and it opens up, and we drop it back down, it locks in place. Much neater and better. It means quick opening of the pistol grip to get motors in and things like that. Now the sort of piece de resistance here is not only is that a flat trigger, which was lovely. I'm going to bring the Allen key from earlier in. The Allen key is for the grub screw in the trigger. That is an adjustable trigger. Let that settle in. They have included one as stock. Absolute genius move there. Something that people are likely to want anyway is already in there. Beautiful. Really, really happy with that. That's an added feature, and you've got plenty of space in there for glove fingers to get in sort of quite a wide opening trigger guard to get around the trigger. Beautiful, shoots lovely. The MOSFET current is still the complete stock settings, so the trigger sensitivities, I think it's more or less the lowest, so you have to pull the trigger quite a distance to get it to fire. And then that brings us onto the stock then. We've got a metal sling loop, so it's easy to get it slung if needs be. We've got some QD points. I did miss those on the front, so we've got a QD point on each side of the stock, as well as QD points on each side of, the handguard at the front there. Quite nice texturing on the stock. Now what's really genius here is it's currently fully collapsed, so the adjustment button is there. So I'm just going to lock that open to one position, and we've got a button there, and we've just accessed our battery compartment. That makes me so happy. Now that doesn't feel like a flimsy thing. There is a substantial feel to that. You got the rubberization on the outside of that. We can easily access our Dean's connector. Again, lovely touch. I like that it's Dean's and not Mini Tamiya. Put that back in there. Our stock closers. We've just accessed our battery without needing to mess with the stock. But we can adjust the stock, and to remove the stock, I'm going to push the button in, get my finger under there, pull down, and it comes off. And it's a 6-position stock. That is possibly one of the nicer features, particularly from a tech-in position and things like that, I've ever seen, and it is beautiful. Now, when it's fully collapsed, the stock, I can't get into that battery space. You do need to come out one position to just give it enough clearance to not block that button sort of dropping down and out. So it is a quick change spring as well, which you can do just by removing the stock screw, the screw that's in the stock there. You can remove this tube off the back and you can get in and remove this the screw, the bolt release. I'm getting too carried away, and then reassemble it again to change those springs. So if you're having issues, that is a quick way. So I'm going to cut to doing the performance tests for you all, the typical range and things. I will show you the before and after with the original hot rubber and the Trinity rubber as well, and then we will come back and sort of discuss my thoughts and opinions on it. So looking at max 327.9, minimum 321.9, average 323. So you're looking at, what's that? To a 6 FPS variant in there. That's not bad at all, really, is it? And that's after settled. So a slight decrease in FPS. We've gone from 327, sort of like 330 down to sort of like 320. We've got 319.3 the highest, 310.7 the lowest. So you're looking at sort of what's that, about 8.5 FPS variants. So 11.9, 12 rounds a second. That's pretty damn good. Wow. Right. 22.9, 23 rounds a second. That's amazing. About 55 meters, maybe just over 50 meters. Wow. That's like, wow. That's 60 plus meters. Wow, just for changing a hot rubber, that's amazing. Okay, so we are back. So the stock rubber then, we'll do the range first. The stock rubber was sort of 55 meters, a little bit of a spread. The Dom, the guy at the patrol base that sort of deals with the Delta armories, and sort of talked about that the rubber is intended for the Slovakian markets, which is higher FPS. So these are roughly about 400 FPS from the factory or thereabouts, and the slightly heavy weights. And it just doesn't quite cope very well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good range and I was really happy with it. But the Trinity rubber is the win by like, all I've done is change the hot rubber and I've gained over 10 plus meters of range instantly. So the Trinity rubber pack includes the Trinity rubber, an enhanced hop arm and an Omega style nub. So these are basically an R-hop style rubber and they are absolutely exceptional. I cannot fault the change in performance. Now we did see, coming on to nice sort of segue there into the FPS of it, the chrono, this has been downgraded. So with the stock rubber, we were doing about 330 FPS, just under. It was like 327.9 to down to 321.9. So you got like sort of 6 FPS variants. We lost about 10 FPS by putting that rubber in, but gained significantly more range, and it just took a lot less adjustment on the hot wheel to get those 2 5s just absolutely flying out there. So I don't even think it was like a third of the adjustment available to hop 2 5s, and they are absolutely just flying out there. It feels so much nicer in terms of like seeing those BBs go. It looks and feels a lot better, and you're getting that extra range out there. It's going to make a real difference. So I was really happy with that. In terms of rates of fire then, again, don't forget, maybe take 1 or 2 rounds per second off if you were running at the sort of European FPS standards. So we're looking at around 12 rounds per second, which is pretty good on a 7.4. It feels quite snappy on single shot. That is with an upgraded now 22 TPA motor. That is a standard motor now that they're putting in them, is 22 TPA, up from 16, which Don was telling me about. And then 11.1 really comes alive. Like 23 rounds a second. It just feels like an absolute beast of a piece of kit. Throw on top of all of that, you have got their Eagle MOSFET in there, which I will link to my programming video for that down below. And most of the internal parts in the gearbox are also SHS as well, actual SHS parts. You are buying an excellent quality piece of kit, and I have been blown away by the sort of value of what you are getting versus the cost. You know, I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying it's a 6.03 Type bore barrel. I will confirm on the screen now in text what the barrel is specifically, but the thing is an absolute workhorse and just a fantastic piece of kit. I ran it 2/3 of the day at Halo Mill Proving Grounds recently, their Delta Day weekend sort of thing, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Even with the stock rubber all day, it was phenomenal. It's only after the day that I got the Trinity rubber and put that in. And even then I was really happy with it. Really snappy, really sharp, running it on 11.1. Really happy with it. In terms of mags, now please, you know, don't flame me too hard. The stock included mag is a 120 round mid-cap mag, and that fit and fed beautifully. I've also used with it, because all I got available was mid-cap. I know, I'm sorry. So I had a new Prol high cap, that fit and fed perfectly. I believe, if I remember correctly, Dom said this see-through new Prol types are the only ones that they found so far that don't fit in it. I also tried some, I think the SEMA high caps, they fit and fed in it. I've also got, I've lost sight of where I've put it, some black Flash Mag M4 high caps. I think the Battle Axe, maybe they're in that sort of style, but it's a Flash Mag. That fit and fed absolutely perfect in it as well. It just, you know, everything I threw at it on the day, it just laughed and carried on going, and was a phenomenal piece of kit. I was really happy with it. Unbelievably happy. So I'm just going to grab the batteries so we can do the battery sort of compartment check. We'll do gloved operation, and then I'll leave you with my sort of final thought. Okay, so I've got a variety of batteries then that are ones that I generally use. So we're going to start off with the 7.4 volt that I always do the rate of fire checks with. So pop that in there. Now that will go in that stock tube, and probably with the stock a little bit extended, I can probably get that wiring in there. That is a 2200 milliamp, so would run this quite happily all day without any issues. Now, if I was to use the 2600 11.1, there is no way that that is going in there whatsoever, so I'm not even going to try. Then I've got some short ones. So I've got a 7.4 and an 11.1 that are 1200 milliamps. Now, we'll start with the 11.1 because that's bigger. Now, that only goes in, as far as that's quite a long battery. So I'd have to run the stock quite far out to get that to fit. I mean, I'm not saying it won't fit, but you're going to have to keep your stock quite extended, sort of most of the way out. Yeah, it's nearly all of the way out, about maybe just over halfway, to make sure you've got the battery space for that. And the same applies for the 7.4. Got a substantial amount of distance. Now the battery I did run, it's not that one, was this 1100 11.1, which just sits in there, loads of room down there, even with it fully sort of just about fully collapsed, which I found was the perfect shouldering position, was that one. I like them very short, very compact, very close into me, and that was the perfect place then to get the battery connector in and not have to worry. But I also know I could have extended the stock if I wanted. Same with the 1457.4, that will go in as well with plenty of room. So ideally, what you're probably going to need, depending on how trigger happy you are, I have two of these 1100s, and those usually last me a full day of very trigger happiness in this sort of thing, and did. One of these ran this all day without any issue whatsoever. Likewise with a 1450, you know, 2 of those for the full day and you're going to be absolutely laughing. So in terms of the glove operation then, I did have to, well, I can't find my unboxing gloves, my normal ones. I've recently had to change my gloves because my Oakleys finally gave in. My Oakley SI gloves, after many years of use, sort of bought them just after the channel started and the fingers had worn out on several places. I got a tear on the palm, the seams were coming apart a little bit. They did me well, they did me really, really good. I since took on many people's recommendations, got some Mechanics Impact gloves. I have worn them, I think, once now to a game day, maybe twice, and they have been absolutely phenomenal. I've been really, really impressed with them. Really impressed with them, actually. So, mechanics then. So, in terms of the front sight and rear sight, absolutely operate that with no issues whatsoever. I can definitely get hold of the weapon. Let's chuck a mag in. I can definitely operate that. I can definitely operate the mid cap. Now, don't forget, this is a mid cap. You need a speed loader to sort of click the BBs into that. It will hold 120. You'll know when it's full because it will just stop you forcing any more in. It's not like a high cap where you've got the hatch where you pour the BBs in and then you use the winder, keeping it upright to feed the BBs. But I can, not that it's a judgment to the gloves or anything, I can access the hatch on that to fill those up. I can easily operate the mag release. Charging handle, very easy. Now, same problem as always, I can adjust the hop. I'm not quite sure, I haven't quite got the tactile feel to know exactly how much I've adjusted it, but I can certainly adjust that hop with ease and operate that bolt release to send that pinging back forward. The selector, nice and easy. The trigger, nice and easy again. And the fact that it's adjustable, beautiful. Lovely comfy grip. The gloves are really holding on nice and tight on there. The stock is easy to do. I can even, I bet, not quite, well, I can't quite. No, I can even get the stock off. It says, yeah, just about, bit messing about. I could get the stock off, but I can certainly adjust the stock and I can certainly open that battery compartment up and adjust the stock again. So I am happy that that is pretty successfully glove operated. So coming to my sort of final thoughts then, I think the Trinity hop rubbers are borderline essential, particularly if you're in the UK. They are a softer rubber than the stock rubber, so you know, if you're outside the UK using higher FPSs, consider that you know, warned that softer rubber may tear quite quickly with higher FPSs. Other than that, absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Great little MOSFET. The programmability options within that are absolutely brilliant. You know, in terms of burst and things like that. I am struggling to find any real issue with this at all. You know, and I can't even find anything to clutch at straws with, really. I'm really struggling to find an issue with it. It's a beautiful looking piece of kit. It's really well sort of built and designed. Some beautiful little touches, like including an adjustable trigger, the SHS parts in it, the stock, being able to access the battery in the way that you can, you know, getting rid of the pinch type base plate and going for a proper pull lever. Just like, I cannot say enough good things about this. And if you haven't tried one yet, you should go and try Delta Armory's. Absolutely fantastic piece of kit. So I will leave the usual photos at the end. Hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed it immensely. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. See ya.